Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Hoppy Craftsmen. I am Jeff.
And I'm Chris.
And we are here in lovely Mesa, Arizona at the Beer Research Institute.
Yeah, luckily, these guys let us actually podcast here tonight, which is pretty super nice of them.
Nice or crazy?
Yeah, I'm one of the two.
those guys know our reputation.
But no, it's super cool to be, kind of out and about and actually do like a weird, kind of a normal episode for us, but at actually a brewery.
Yeah.
This is cool.
I'm into it.
So setting up, we actually had a few beers so far. We had their IPA Cheerios. What is it?
The Hoppy Nut Cheerios.
Hoppy Nut Cheerios.
It's got a bunch of Honey Nut Cheerios in it. It's a hazy IPA. I don't have all the stats, but I loved it when it came out last year, and apparently it was a big hit, so they brewed another batch, and it's back.
It's funny. It definitely, I don't know if it's because of it has to be because of the Cheerios, but it brings kind of that, not necessarily malty taste to it, but a little bit more of the biscuity, malty kind of flavor to the beer, which is kind of nice with the IPA.
Oh yeah, you can definitely tell that there's Cheerios in that beer.
Yeah. I wonder how many Cheerios you have to put in there to actually get it to that point to actually get that flavor out of it. There's Cheerio flavor out of it, right? That's the crazy part.
Yeah. Do you just go buy like a bunch of boxes of Cheerios, or
go to one of those name brand huge stores that have all that stuff?
Is there a special place where you can buy bags of Cheerios that are size of like king size pillows, or what? How does that work?
That would be awesome. That'd be like my childhood fantasy, is to have a pillow-sized bag of Cheerios.
There you go.
Just sleep in that thing.
Yep.
Awesome. So, what's new? What's been going on in the valley, man? What's the haps? What's the haps going on?
What is going on? Between work and life and everything, it's like my whole beer life has taken like a back seat. So it feels good to get back in the saddle and have some beers and talk about beers and podcast about beers. We already got the people. Everyone's kind of like rubbernecking. What are those guys doing? A couple people walking up asking, "Hey, who are you guys? What are you doing?"
And like you said earlier, it's getting a little cooler out. So hopefully we can maybe do some more things, just because it's easier to actually do shit when it's not 1,000 degrees outside. So
yeah, I'm much more willing to stack up for beer releases when it's not like a bazillion degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning. Plus, for some reason, I don't know if it's this year, we haven't got a lot of monsoons and rain activity, but it just has felt like super humid.
Right.
I don't know if it's just me, but you go outside and it's muggy and miserable and
It's funny, so when I went to Michigan, I was like really worried about being really muggy back there, and it was actually more muggy here when we got back than it was in Michigan the whole time we were there. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. Oddly enough. Well, speaking of beer releases, so we are actually, the beer we're drinking now was BRI's recent release, which was their Urban Art, which is they've done before in cans. This is with blackberries, though.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's really good.
I said it tastes like the old blackberry fancy fruits lifesavers in here. And I know we used to say that cherry wheat tasted like beer with lifesavers in it, and it was a negative connotation, but definitely not so with this beer.
Right. No, actually, I just stole one of the the beer menu here to kind of
cheat sheet.
There it is. 7%, 65 IBUs. That matters to you, I guess. Who knows?
Well, it's BRI. Have they done a beer lower than 7%?
Yeah, looking around this, I'm looking through this menu. Prick evidently is a 5.7.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's their light beer.
Yeah, it's also an IPA, which is great. That's fucking awesome. Other than that, yeah, no, everything else is a pretty damn high. Morning Sex, which seems stout. That's still 5.8, so whatever.
Wow.
Craziness.
Wow. But last weekend was a crazy weekend for Phoenix area beer releases. You had Arizona Wilderness released a Dirty Hop Water, and didn't they release something else?
Yeah, it was. Well, wasn't that Michelada beer? Was it?
I'm not sure.
I
know it's definitely another. Yeah.
Busy weekend, man. It was a busy week for releases.
Yeah. Ren did one or two. BRI did one.
Right.
It was a crazy day of a crazy weekend of releases last week.
It was almost to the point of there were so many, it was hard to even choose which one you wanted to go get.
Right.
So you're like, So yeah, and actually Wilderness snuck in there. I actually wasn't even paying attention, and I didn't realize it released their Dirty Hop Water, so I haven't had that yet.
Yeah, me neither.
So interested how that goes.
I'm digging the new can art.
I like it too. It's kind of
they kind of shifted. They went to like the black can, which it wasn't black before. It was like darker green on a lighter green, and now it's like the green on black, and I really dig it.
Yeah, well, it's matte too, right? It's the matte green or matte black.
Yeah,
I like that. Like it. Yeah, Interstellar Overdrive, which is another film.
Nice. But yeah, I heard from a lot of our beer friends that they were having the same dilemma. It's everybody wanted everything, but they didn't want to or couldn't stack up at every single brewery to go do all of them. So hopefully, you beer trade or you have some cool friends that picked up some extras.
And get some, share the love around. Be awesome. There should be some kind of network besides like Craigslist or whatever that you can actually like do beer line sharing trade. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be at Wilderness, or where are you going to be? Okay, you go to BRI, I'll trade you this for this. You know what I'm saying? Like some kind of...
Someone needs to build a Tinder for beer trading.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's like a Tinder beer trading app.
Oh, PBR, I'm swiping left.
Swipe left. Quick. Stop showing this to me. Keep choosing that and keep doing it. I'm looking forward to actually this weekend is actually 12 West's release with it's basically the collab they did with GCM, Kings, Liquor Express.
Yeah.
I can't remember what's the other one? The fourth one. This fourth one. I know it is. Damn it. Somebody listening to this is like,
it's not Casual Pine, is it?
No, I'm gonna look it up now. We had the internet, I guess. I could just do that.
God bless. If only there was a device you could hold in your hand that had all the information in the world on it.
It's very true. Very, very, very true. But yeah, it's basically a milkshake IPA. It's got pineapple and strawberry in it. It's
Nice.
Pineapple and strawberry milkshake IPA, which I'm good. I'm good for that.
Yeah. Sign me up. Where's it being released at? 12 West?
No, well, yes. So 12 West for sure, but it's also going to be released at every single convenience store that actually did the collab with them too.
Nice.
So let me look here. It is, let's see, 12 West, GCM, Liquor Express, and no, just King's Beer and Wine. Oh, I thought there was a fourth one there for some reason. No,
Nice. GCM.
nailed it.
Our good friends at GCM.
Yeah. Well, Liquor Express too. Chris is a cool dude. Or Chris is at GCM.
Chris is at GCM.
Kyle's at Liquor Express.
There you go.
Very cool. But yeah, man, that's going to be awesome. 9.5 milkshake IPA, $20 a 4-pack, 16-ounce cans. I'm guessing it's called #allocated. Which I like that.
So yeah, that would explain why I've been seeing that hashtag everywhere for the last few days.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's this #allocated thing?
And the artwork's pretty cool. It's like a drawing of basically like a liquor store. It says #allocated, and it's got 12 Us logo, and there's a bunch of people like waiting like around the block and down the road for the fucking beer. So
Nice.
It's like, oh, nice, nod to the beer community. Thanks, guys. Really, really like that.
Common scene, especially like Ren House. You got those convenience store owners next door probably hate those guys. They're like, oh, another beer release.
Yeah, dude. Every time I'm in line at Ren, and I just try not to make eye contact with anybody in that store because I'm like, I know they feel like we got beer right here, guys. This is craft beer right above us.
But they still got to do business. I mean, I've gone to beer releases and gone in there to pick up like a Monster Energy drink or something else like a snack, pack of gum. So. And that's a place I would never walk into otherwise.
No, there's no way.
Yeah.
No way I'd go in there.
So, I mean, they can... Yeah, I'm not implying that they bitch, but if they do bitch, I'm sure they're generating more business than if no one's out there.
Right. Oh, yeah, for sure. You can say the bits. And I actually never thought about going in there and getting food and stuff. That's actually a very good call.
Ooh, line snacks.
You can share with everybody you know. Be awesome. So the other... one of the big things you guys saw was Odd 13. Technically, it's coming to the Valley now. Had a chance to try some of their beers at the Juicy Brews Festival in Tucson. They were there, I believe. Was Odd 13? Yes. What I had was good. Can't remember what it was. Juicy Brews is kind of a blur after middle of the day. We definitely tried a lot of beers and had a really good time.
I'm still bummed I missed that one.
I really hope they come back to Tucson, but I don't know if they're going to make it or not. We'll see. It was really funny when you saw that list. It was like all these major cities and then Tucson. They're like, we're going to LA and Boston and New York and Tucson. You're like, wait, what? That seems weird. But you listen to the episode, you figure out it's because his family's from there and that's why they did it there and stuff. Right. But it was a really fun festival for people that were there. It didn't seem like it was actually like packed to the gills or they're going to be,
We followed them, leading up to and then after. Mm-hmm. And of all the places that they went to, it was like rave reviews across the board. And usually a festival is, everyone comes out of the woodwork and no one ever praises them. They just basically, everyone stacks up and tells you, this is what sucked. You guys don't know how to plan a fest. You should have done this. The lines were too long. There wasn't enough, it was, you didn't give enough tickets, and everybody bitches, and you didn't see any of that. And from what I gather, that was their first shot at doing like a beer fest, and it was roving.
Well, so they started the East Coast and they moved it this way. And yeah, it was across the country, which was insane to me for one. It wasn't like in the same state and the same parts every year, which the logistics of that are crazy. But yeah, and just talking to them, there's guys that like, they're basically writers. They actually started them. Have a magazine, the Hop Culture magazine, which is awesome. But they want to put on a festival that they wanted to go to, as being just regular beer drinkers. They didn't want to go to some, other crazy festival. They want a festival that they wanted to go to just like that. Right. So that's why they did it that way. And I think that it definitely resonated with a lot of people that went to that festival. It was a really good time. It was. So
yeah, that's cool. I'll definitely hit it if it comes back through.
Yes. Yeah, that'll definitely. And this time I will plan ahead and actually stay in Tucson if it's in Tucson again. To stay down there the night before and hang out and have a little fun. Have a little more fun than just the one afternoon.
It's probably a good idea. I mean, Tucson's close, but the last thing you want to do the last thing I would want to do after any beer fest is drive another hour and a half to come back home.
Doesn't sound. It was. I mean,
and I am implying as a passenger, so don't start spamming us with being like you drunk driving bastards.
My wife came down, and got me from the festival, and I hung out for a little bit, and then we drove home, and that was still awful. Like you said, as a passenger, it wasn't great. So Being from Tucson, I can go the rest of my life without making that trip, but unfortunately, we got folks like Borderlands and Pueblo Vita and beer fests like that go to Tucson, and it's like you gotta go. But yeah, Odd 13, man, I hope I was actually gonna pull up a list of some of their beers.
Where's Odd 13 from? For anybody who doesn't know or hasn't heard of them,
I believe Odd 13 is from Colorado. So Odd 13, let's do some Google food here. So
they got some very cool, like kind of comic book vibe, comic book art kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. It reminded me. I mean, it was. I don't know why, but it's kind of like it is comic book art for sure. I mean, the beers are all codename Superfan. That's literally one of their beers.
Nice.
It's Intergalactic Juice Hunter. I mean, yeah, and it's all very comic booky like art, which is awesome. I don't know. It's just maybe it's comic book still. I don't know why I was thinking of like Operation Ivy, like they were getting like that guy cover from them, like, but that's not. This is a little bit more comic booky than that. So, but very cool. As far as like the beers I got going on here, well, they actually even have a podcast. What? Talk to those guys sometime.
Nice.
Stanky Cape Man, double IPA.
Stanky Cape Man?
Cape. Codename Freedom Fan, codename Super Fan, Noob, Pale Ale, Barrel Sneak, Hop Burst Brett beer. So yeah, some really good stuff available in packages. They got some beer to go. Humulus Kale Cucumber. Sour ale. It's a 5%.
Oh man, they're a bunch of hippies.
Yeah. They have a Bartleby, which is a plum. Barrel aged dark sour with plums. 7.8.
Yes, please.
Yeah, like that sounds awesome. It's in bottle too, so 16%. I hope that we see a lot of these beers that they have on this list come down here. I think that means that we'll probably maybe see some collabs too.
Now, all the information I've seen so far, and it hasn't been a lot, but from a Phoenix or even Arizona craft perspective, I saw the Wandering Tortoise broke the news. So is there any indication there's going to be some exclusivity there? Or is it going to be like, Wandering Tortoise brings them in and then we'll kind of see what happens? Or is there any indication that it's just, they've got distribution down here on a bigger scale? I don't mind going to Wandering Tortoise to check them out, but it'd be nice to have something on our side of town.
No, I think they got hooked up with Quail Distributing, so I think they're going through them to actually distribute all the beer out. So we'll definitely see them, not just at Wandering Tortoise, but probably some other places as well, because
nice.
Quail's distributing all over the place. So
yeah, like I said, I don't mind going to Wandering Tortoise, but there's weekends where I want beer and I want it now, and I don't want to drive all the way downtown to Wandering Tortoise to scope their selection.
Right. So this actually says October 3rd, which if you listen
that's my birthday.
That's which also this is the day this episode comes out. So happy birthday, preemptively.
Thank you.
And go have some Mod 13 beer. The Wandering Tortoise.
Sold.
It's official. Launch party. So that's awesome. We'll grab another beer. Take a break.
I'm ready for a beer.
All right, let's do this. All right, guys, we are back from break. We got fresh beers. Jeff, what'd you get?
I got the blueberry saison.
Ooh. If anybody listens to this show, they know that as soon as the guy said blueberry, Jeff was like, I'll have that.
I love my blueberry beers.
He didn't even need to tell you what it was. You're like, yep, I'm in. Blueberry, yes. Yep.
And that's what I was looking for. I was like, I know you have blueberry something on this freaking menu. If we could get, I'm not disparaging any of our local brewing buddies, but if we could get freaking stealth mode from Bottle Logic,
Oh, yeah.
in cans distributed here on a regular basis, I would be in tons of trouble.
That was really good. It can't be too hard to kind of make that blueberry Berliner Weiss kind of sour, awesome tartness.
It's so good,
right? I don't know.
It's so good.
I would be in. Well, speaking of sours, I'm actually drinking the Inside Job, which is the 12 West BRI collab. I saw that they posted the other day that it was back, and we were coming here, so I wanted to definitely get some more of this.
Does it taste like it can melt steel beams?
It kind of does. After a long time of all the acid eating away at it.
Boom. You should see what that shit'll do to the Pentagon.
I think sour. This is it's a sour ale, sour pale ale. So 4.8 actually. Didn't realize that was another little one. Jeez.
The blueberry saison is dandy. It doesn't have that punch you in the face blueberry muffin taste.
Okay.
But it's got a very pronounced blueberry.
So is it more saison
flavor.
with blueberry?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But, and I know how you love this.
Yeah.
It's balanced.
God damn it.
It's
nothing.
Yeah, it's saison-y and it's blueberry, but again, it doesn't have that super blueberry muffiny saison or blueberry character. But it's really fucking good. I like it.
Nice. So, kind of taking it back to Wandering Tortoise, they actually released some pretty big news the other day, or today, or yesterday. I can't remember what day it was. Last 2 days. They all blend together. I think it was Monday they announced it. We're actually getting some beer from this little brewery in San Diego. Have you heard of them before? Called Pure Project?
I may have heard of them.
Yeah. Yeah, this time, supposedly, so at this point, as of this recording, which is the 18th, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They had multiple pictures up. They actually announced the cans they're going to be getting. Still no ETA on when the cans are getting released and when it's going to be on draft. So we'll see how that comes. But the 3 cans, excited for 2 of them. I mean, it's like the third one was like a Pilsner, I think. Was there a Pilsner?
It was. Well, I know because are we gonna go through? Because one's the Merc Shake,
right? And that one I'm super excited about.
One I can't remember the name, but one's like a lemon lime. Lemon lime, is it an IPA?
Yeah. It's, so here I got it. So it's the Merc Shake with raspberries. It's a triple IPA with raspberries and vanilla, and then the Zestier, which is a murky double IPA with lemon, lime, and lactose, which is a collab with Civil Society Brewing. And the last one's Rain, which is unfiltered Pilsner. So
nice.
A hazy Pilsner, I guess. That seems really weird.
I'll try it.
Kind of like the slap in the face of beer and Pilsner. It's like that's kind of one of the things about Pilsner. It's supposed to be like clean and clear. And,
right.
And this is like, nope, not even filtered, motherfuckers. Just drink it.
Pilsner or Pure doesn't give a shit. They're pushing the envelope, and I haven't had a bad beer from them yet.
The can for this Merc Shake with raspberries looks like it's vanilla and raspberry ice cream just kind of like swirled together on the can, and then just hits their logo. They did such a great job with their shit. It's awesome.
Our buddy Jake is losing his mind that's the one that's coming.
Yeah, I know, right? He was talking about it.
Yeah, he was talking today. He's like, of all the beers that they had to do, it was that one. And I knew it was going to be that one because I knew it was going to piss me off that he had to go stand in line for the release, and it's going to be a zoo.
Dude, so right now, I'm hoping I'm going to listen to this later because hopefully they actually come out before this episode comes out. I just look back and laugh at it, but I'm really, really hoping that they actually do a weekday release kind of thing, not a Saturday at 9 a.m. shit show.
That would be ideal.
Yeah. I mean, one, ideal for us, two, ideal, I guess, for them. Either way.
Right.
I'm sure if even during the week, I'm sure they'd fucking sell out. Ren sells that shit out during the week, so I don't know why they wouldn't.
Absolutely.
But, and my hope is that maybe during the week, something like a lot of people get deterred because they couldn't get there at 12 o'clock on a fucking Thursday. But you never know.
It's amazing how many people come out of the woodwork at noon on a weekday.
It's so funny.
And, you know, it's like, 90% of the people there are stressed out because they're on their lunch break, and it's like, oh, come on.
This is what I'm doing for my lunch. I'm gonna go back.
Yep.
But damn, that's
going back to work, Kentry.
that's awesome. But yeah, that's super exciting. I mean, so I'm really hoping that means that we'll start getting more of their cans. I know we talked about this before, and it's just with the size of their place and them sharing the equipment, I just don't know how they're making that much beer, especially distribute in San Diego, let alone in another state. But maybe, and I think you brought this up, it's like hopefully the idea is maybe that it's so saturated there that they actually can distribute here too. Yeah, actually making more. So I mean, I don't know. I hope so. I hope it's that way.
That's the thing, and that, I mean, San Diego County is almost home for me. I grew up like right up the road from there, and my wife and I just went there for our anniversary, and you literally cannot throw a rock without hitting 3 breweries.
Yeah.
We drove by all these breweries on the way to our hotel. We pull into our hotel, and I can't remember the name of it. It is like some cool name and a really cool looking building. And our friends, who's general manager of the hotel we stayed at, like, oh yeah, it's going to be a brewery, and it's like, of course it is.
Why would it not be?
So yeah, the Hyatt House over there near San Diego. I can't remember exactly where it's at, but it's kind of an industrial complex. There's like Qualcomm and all these big buildings there, but there was a Karl Strauss there, and we were going to go, and it was like closed on a Saturday.
That's so weird.
So I'm like, how is a brewery closed on a Saturday? And then when, you ask the concierge and all that, it's like, oh yeah, well, all the people around here, nothing goes on during the weekend because it clears out. The hotels clear out because it's a big like tech conference, IT, semiconductor.
Yeah.
There's all these places, and so they're booming during the week with all these businessmen coming in and staying in hotels, and that's when they go to the brewery. So they're like, there's no one here on the weekend. So it's literally like a Karl Strauss that was built to cater to all of the business people that go there during the week, and then it's not even open on the weekends.
That's so crazy to think that. I mean, you'd think that, traditionally, Friday night, Saturday night, like the weekend, that would be like people, it's popping, people want to be in there. But I mean, once you have so many choices, you're gonna have to almost switch your hours to actually meet, like you said, the demands of who's in your area, who's actually going to be there. Because
I mean, the hours of the breweries there are crazy because we'd go out sightseeing and doing this and that, and we'd come back and rest a little bit, and then hey, let's go find a brewery, and the breweries close at like 9 o'clock in the evening on the weekends. It's like, what are you talking about? Or they have California, especially San Diego County breweries, have the craziest hours ever. I don't know. And again, with the saturation that they have, you figure they would be open almost 24/7 to try to get as much business as possible. But most of them, from what I get, well, look at like Toolbox.
Right.
We go to Toolbox, and Toolbox hours are crazy. And from what I gather, maybe the servers and all that, that's their main gig, but like the owners and all that, it's almost like a side gig to them. So,
weird. Yeah, it's just weird. I mean, yeah, it's just weird to be like that. I mean, coming from like a retail, I have so much retail background, and it's like, no, you work, I mean, it's all the hours that people don't work, so that makes sense in that aspect, but usually those hours are not, Thursday night or whatever. It's usually like, oh, you're gonna work Friday night late, and late Saturday night, and then go from there. So
right,
it's just kind of odd that.
But yeah, we were blown away that there was a Karl Strauss right by us that closed at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, that seemed weird too, I guess, but. Yeah, that's odd, dude. I don't know.
It was, and yeah, for me to come back and tell you guys, it's like I didn't go to like a single brewery while I was there because the hours were like nuts.
Crazy. Yeah, I know. It's almost like you almost have to say, just go during the week.
Yeah,
just go during the week and go to some of those places.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Insane. So I don't know. I mean, I'm happy that Pierre's here. Hopefully that means that the the gates are opening a little bit more for some other breweries to kind of like start doing the same kind of thing. Maybe we'll start seeing some. Actually, we'll see Toolbox or some other places come from California, San Diego over here. So
I keep waiting to see the announcement, and I've seen it. I've seen and read that the space that Pure occupies is not owned by Pure. It's kind of like I don't know.
It's like a communal space, right? They share it, right?
Yeah, it's like it's like an angel investor of beer, bought like all this brewing equipment and kind of like leases it out to these up and coming breweries. So I keep waiting to see this news that Pure is moving or expanding or something, because I mean they got to be killing it, because every release they do, it's almost like mini Russian River. You inevitably see like someone post a video of this line at Pure, and it's like, we've been to Pure and we know what that's like. And the line goes like all the way out to the street and down the block, and it's freaking nuts. I remember we went to Bottle Logic when we went out to Captain Fatty's, and the line just to get in to the event they were having that weekend was like, oh my God, I am not waiting in that line.
And people did. There was tons of people waiting in the line. Tons. I still am super happy that people that were waiting in that line did not see us get to cut that line and just walk in the back door. Oh yeah, and that we didn't get shanked in California.
They would have definitely shanked us. But those people were looking at us weird
when
the brewer came out with the what is it, fundamental observation?
Yeah, the friggin' the one with the cinnamon.
Whatever.
One.
Yeah, that crazy Cinnabon stout.
The Roll for Initiative, is that what?
That's what it was. Roll for Initiative. But yeah, we're sitting there and everyone just got in and they're stacking up in lines that are. I've seen shorter lines at Disneyland.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And they were stacking up, and he comes out and he's just handing us those snifters, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?"
They're like, sorry, yeah, not sorry, whatever. It's still cool.
So good.
I will take it every time, every single fucking time, dude.
Absolutely.
So what else is going around the beer community at this point? We got news. I got
the one thing that sticks out to me is Jim Gaffigan was apparently running smack about craft beer. So I can't remember exactly what he said, but it's amusing and kind of offensive at the same time, because it's like, obviously he's like a domestic big company, crisp lager guy or something.
Well, what's just funny is that I think he literally has I don't know if it's a joke about it, but talking about Rolling Rock.
Yeah. Right. I remember he got his start doing the Rolling Rock commercials.
Right. He was in Rolling Rock commercials, which technically they were craft beer, and then they got bought out by Big Beer. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird. So that's kind of, it's like, oh, that's funny. But yeah, so
his quote here, it's like, now it seems in every city, town, and hamlet I visit has its own beer made by locals, specialty beers, microbrews, craft beers made by community artisans, and I have to tell you, without exception, they're all bad.
I mean, he's probably traveled around to a lot of Fuddruckers around the United States, so I would imagine he's probably had some really bad beers.
And that's one of those things. I mean, he's a comedian. I like Jim Gaffigan. I think he's a funny dude. But maybe he should stick to dogging Hot Pockets. But I'm not going to sit here and look it up, and I'm not going to sit here and read a bunch of articles. But if the story interests you, I'll put
a link. I know craftbeer.com had something about it.
But it was like,
because they replied back to him, right?
I don't know her exact role, but it was a female, and she's higher up. I don't know if she's like PR or president of the Brewers Association, but she crafted a very well thought out, very well articulated rebuttal to Jim Gaffigan, saying that all American craft beer is bad.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, and we talk about this time and time again, but it's a preference. It's personal. You literally brought it up earlier. It's like it's balanced. Well, what does that even mean?
Right.
So to him to say all these beers are bad, that's not okay. Well, what kind of beers do you normally drink? Well, then no shit, you don't like. Forget double IPA.
Well, there it is. Sense. And I mean, that's another one of those, varieties, the spice of life. And, everyone's saying that, you see the memes now where it's like, IPAs are the white American male's version of the pumpkin spice latte. And, everyone's making fun of it. And I get that, I don't sit there and get pissed at jokes. I think they're actually kind of funny. But like you said, taste is subjective. And if I go to a brewery I gravitate towards, double, triple Imperial IPAs because I like them. They're my jam. They've been my jam for a long time. So if someone asks me what I'm drinking and I say, hey, it's a double IPA, here, taste it, and they taste it and they're like, oh my God, that's horrible. I don't sit there and say, get the fuck away from me. Right. I can't believe you don't like that, because it is subjective. And the first IPA I had, I turned my nose up. I made a funny face. I was like, holy shit, what am I drinking? Right. And it's something that grows on you. It's definitely acquired taste, but everyone has their own style. You don't like Saisons. I dig Saisons. I'm not going to... Fuck you, Chris. Show's over because you don't like my blueberry Saison.
Saisons are the worst beer ever made. Oh, no.
They're all bad.
Like I said, and I try to keep an open mind about that. Like, there's going to be a Saison that I like. I guarantee there will be. I mean, and again, there's not that I don't... Most Saisons I'm just not a big fan of. It's not that they taste bad. It's just not my jam. It's not my... I don't gravitate towards them, but I understand that people like them. And that's the thing. It's like, hey, people like that's cool. It's just really weird, to say it's a very... I guess I don't like when people talking very quantitative statements like that. Like, all craft beer is bad. Right. That's bullshit. How do you even know that? Yeah. That's not cool. Like, you can't say that. You say a lot of craft beer might be bad, or most craft beer I've tried has been bad. That's you
always kind of quantify your I don't know, distaste for Saisons by saying, I don't like them, but I keep trying them. Right. Sooner or later I might like them, and you don't completely turn your nose at them forever. But you don't gravitate towards them, but you still try them. I mean, we have a different, we're not, we are kind of comedians. Not professionally.
We don't know.
But I don't want to say I get offended. I just think that comedians and celebrities kind of need to temper the shit that they say, because all that does to me is make me feel like Gaffigan's like some paid shill, like Big Beer is, automatically, people think it's like, oh, this guy's paid off by Big Beer. And that's, all craft beer isn't bad. And I mean, even if you're not into craft, you should still at least try to support local. And, a lot of local breweries brew a lot of beers that may not be their specialties or in their wheelhouse, because they're trying to please the people or convert the people that come in looking for like Bud Light or freaking Coors or something. Right. And, you come to a craft beer place, like, give me a Budweiser, or what's like a Budweiser. And you have to try to cater to those people. And everyone's got like that gateway beer.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, and I read this article forever ago, and I thought it was a really good kind of a thought process, or a good like way to change that kind of thing too, because that's what people do, right? You go to a bar, and I've heard that when I was at Pop Go, I've heard it countless times when we were there, right? People go like, oh, well, I normally drink Bud Light, or I'm big whatever craft Coors fan. What do you have that's like that? And people are like, or the bartender asks them, hey, what do you normally drink? Oh, you drink Coors Light, cool. Then people might like this one. Instead of asking them, well, what do you like about the beer you normally drink? Right? Like, do you like that it's clean? Do you like that it's hoppy? Do you like the malt? You like more malty stuff? You might like this one instead. So instead of actually trying to like do a 1-for-1 comparison between the beers they normally drink, which is gonna be big macros anyways, right? For the most part, 90% of the time. And what they currently have in their tap, what's similar to it, they might like. Figure out what flavors they like first, and then offer them a beer that they might ever try because they want that flavor, right? They're like, oh, I don't normally drink, Kolsch's, but you're like, oh, well, have you ever tried one? It's kind of the same flavor as this. You give them that or whatever. So right. Or if you like more malty stuff, hey, we have a really good, whatever going on. So
I like how the landscape has changed from. And I mean, we weren't like militant anti-fruited beer people, but back in the day, like when we first met, fruited beer was still kind of frowned upon. And I mean, you had like the cranberry lambics and the cherry wheats and all that, and Pete's Wicked Strawberry Blonde, which was okay, but those were kind of shunned. And the big burly like football watching types would be like, oh, you don't drink that kind of stuff. Look at you, girly man, and all that. And I think it's cool that fruited beers or additive beers, like people are like doing like white chocolate and all this crazy shit to beer, and it's cool because people are setting themselves apart. People are making a name for themselves based on what they can do with the regular styles. And I think by adding fruit, by adding like these crazy cereals, by aging on candy, everyone's doing like these smoothie beers, like look Renhouse's freaking Las Frescas.
Right. Oh,
those are blowing people's mind, and they're doing it. So they're taking their art and they're making it more accessible to people who may not be into craft beer, when all we had back in the day as a gateway beer was a hef.
Right.
And so the first time I had a hef, I was like, and I mean, I've always liked beer, but when the first time I tried Sam Adams,
right,
it was like a hop explosion. And now it's like, there's no hops in this. It's really malty. But again, it's that acquired taste. I could barely drink my first Sam Adams.
Now,
and so my palate has expanded.
Completely expanded. It was funny, and to your point of, I think when I got into craft beer, and I think I read craft beer, actually home brewing books and stuff. It talks about adjuncts in there, right, and it talks about adjuncts as being like the fucking devil. Reading stuff, you're like, wow, people are purists to the max. It was like, you don't put adjuncts in your beer because at that point it was basically trying to attack big beer about them putting rice and other fillers in their beer to make it cheaper. But I guess I draw the line too. I guess when you're not adding flavor to the beer, you're just adding stuff to the beer, right? Sugars, whatever else it is. But if you're adding flavor to the beer and add adjuncts, I totally get that, and I really like that craft beers kind of move more towards that artisan mindset of that kind of thing. Hey, if it adds flavor to the beer and it's gonna make the beer better, then why not do it? It doesn't make sense not to do this or stay away from it completely. It's not this whole it's all or nothing. It's like, well, no, there should be some little bit of gray area in this, right?
I remember seeing guys freak out at Santan and Four Peaks that they ordered a hef and it came with a slice of orange or lemon in it. And people were like, oh, fruit in my beer and blah, blah, blah.
Get that off there.
And, they freak out. And it was like a masculine thing back then. And so now here we are, here I am sitting in a brewery drinking a fucking purple beer that's full of blueberries, and I ain't even mad.
No, not at all. So since this episode is coming out in October, and we are talking about fruit and beers, we gotta talk about some pumpkin beers here.
Pumpkin beers. Basic bitch beers.
Let me tell you what, and people fucking are super divided on this, and we talked about this it's one of the first episodes we talked about pumpkin beers, right? And I think this has always been my guess, is that the mass beers that have been produced of pumpkin are the fucking worst beers possible. And I totally agree with people when they say that pumpkin beers is fucking gross, and they're right. I'm looking at this list of pumpkin beers, and I haven't had Voodoo Ranger's Atomic Pumpkin, but I'm sorry, yeah, New Belgium's Voodoo Ranger, right? Probably not gonna drink it. Nitro Breckenridge Pumpkin Spice Latte, probably won't fucking drink that either. Sam Adams, Pounds of Pumpkin. Definitely had that before. Or their pumpkin, whatever their pumpkin seasonal is, it's fucking awful. So there's definitely been a lot of pumpkin beers that I'm just not a fan of, and those are the mass-produced ones, and those ones people get, there's something even more so these other fucking non-nameless fucking breweries that are out there that make these pumpkin beers one time a year.
Remember the time when the only, and I do mean the only beer Phoenix denizens lined up for was Four Peaks Pumpkin Porter?
Oh yeah, dude, it was amazing. It's still great. I
haven't had it since the buyout.
I'll say I bought it the year after. When they got bought, I still bought some the year after. It's still really good. It was really good at that point. I'm not at this point. I haven't. And there's just so many other really good ones. Avery makes really good pumpkin beer.
My favorite pumpkin beer to date, and I haven't seen it in a long time. But if I see it, I'll buy it. Is Uinta's. If that's how you say it, it's pumpkin jacked.
Oh, the pumpkin jacked, yeah.
It's really good. It's so good.
I think porters and stouts lean themselves way better to pumpkins. It's so much better,
right,
than anything. I mean, to be able to do an ale. Pumpkin ales are gross. Pumpkin porter, I'm in. Pumpkin stout, okay, I'm cool with that too.
Yep.
But yeah, pumpkin ales do not seem like it's a good fucking base.
I agree.
For pumpkins at all. It just seems awful. And that's what you look through this list, and that's fucking what most of these. A large majority of these are going to be pumpkin ales, and you're like, stop doing pumpkin ales. Do a pumpkin porter, do a pumpkin stout. Stay away from the other shit. It doesn't make any sense. Do something more malty. That's totally what it's for. But fucking, yeah, ugh. All these are fucking ales. Shipyard Smashed Pumpkin Ale. Coney Island fucking October Freaktoberfest Pumpkin Ale. It's fucking, you guys are all sick. I'm not drinking any of that stuff. Not drinking any of it, so whatever.
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
stay away from all of it.
Yeah, that's a hard pass for me.
Though I do, you might want to try is that Run House fucking. So they do the barley wine, right? What was it?
Yeah, they're doing something special this year, aren't they?
Yeah, it was like Wicked or
It's
something.
like a crazy.
It's like a barrel aged one, but it was a super limited release.
Some crazy pie thief.
Yeah, it was a. Again, let's go to the interwebs.
Barley wine is life.
Yeah, that fucking. I saw that and it was like, well, that's the thing is, and we still have. I mean, listen to this. I'm sorry. We still have a can of Pie Thief and Pumpkin Pie Thief that we need to try, kind of aging. But what I was hoping is that we could get one of these new ones, which is a barrel aged one. I just remember having like a purple witch's hand or something. I can't remember. I thought maybe I saw it on Facebook.
If only we knew someone with a Saguaro Society membership.
If only.
Who's not here right now.
Well, next time. Yes, I'm hoping that we get one of those, and then we can do a 3-can comparison. We'll do the normal, the freaking, the pumpkin one, and then the also Pie Thief, then the barrel aged Pie Thief.
That would be awesome.
Let's do all 3 of them.
Oh, I know what it was. It was aged in Superstition mead barrels.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, very cool.
As I scroll trying to find it, see the old brain kicks in every now and then.
Yeah, I just remember seeing the post on their Facebook stuff and being like, oh, I want some of that.
Yeah, I can't remember which mead, but I know that it is their Pumpkin Pie Thief that's been aged in one of freaking Superstition's crazy barrels.
And I'll say that, so if anybody listens to this and they really want to like hate themselves and want to just torment themselves a lot, do what we do and sign up for the newsletters from the breweries, like Superstition Meadery and Pueblo Vita and places you can't get to all the time.
Yeah, so you can see all the shit that you don't get to drink.
Yeah, so I always get really excited, and I like click on them and I read through them, and I'm always like, oh, it's the fucking worst. Can't get any of these beers. Hate them. But I love them.
It drives me crazy.
Love all those guys. They're great. Well, let's get another beer. We'll come back. I know we have some GABF, stuff to talk about, and then may wrap up.
Sold. And we are back.
Got fresh beers. I actually went and got the same exact thing because I fucking love this beer.
I'm closing out with the good old original 480G.
That's a really good one too.
It's a nice, respectable IPA. Crisp.
That's super East Coast, right? That's very as far as you can go East Coast.
Yeah, for sure. No way, man. I can see through this.
Oh, shit. So, GABF is this weekend? The weekend of the recording?
I do believe so.
So we should probably check that. We should fact check us real quick.
So yeah, this will come out after GABF.
Okay.
So
well, sure, that's definitely gonna happen.
I'm hoping we see a strong Arizona showing this year again.
I hope so too. I hope they're. I think you mentioned earlier. Dark Sky is going to be doing a lager, right?
Dark Sky owner brewer Ryan Sandlin was posting here. Let me see if I can bring that up real quick. But yeah, he is going all in on a crisp lager, hoping to take the gold. So
that'd be awesome to kind of go to GABF like that and do a category. I guess I wonder if a lager is a bigger category than an IPA.
Here it is, his exact post. One more day until we set out on our most ambitious venture yet, to medal at GABF for a lager. Saturday, we will be filling everyone in during the awards. I'm starting the hashtag for the rest of the week. Please help us. Hashtag pray for Pilsner.
Fingers crossed.
Ryan Sandlin, super good dude. Dark Skies putting out a ton of good beer. Super good people. These guys, not in the Phoenix, Valley of Phoenix, Valley of the Sun, but they are up north in Flagstaff. But again, super awesome brewery, super awesome people, super awesome beer.
Yes. So, and at this point, I'm not sure who else is going to GABF. I'm hoping that there's a pretty good collection of people going. It's one of those things I don't think people really post too much about it until maybe they're there, or actually if I know a lot of people like brewers just go there and hang out and be part of the festivities and do some collabs and all that kind of fun stuff up there. But I haven't really seen a whole lot of people post about actually entering GABF this year.
We had a pretty impressive showing last year. Just to recap, and again, I don't remember seeing anything last year about the people that were going. Right. But Arizona breweries that did well last year, Saddle Mountain Brewing Company received a gold medal for Tail Dragger Clandestine Scottish Style Ale. It was part of the Reclaimed Water, the big project that they did down here with all the reclaimed water. Tempe-based Pedal House Brewery took home a silver medal in a category of light lager for its Pedal House Light. Derek Osborne of Pedal House commented, proud of craft beer this year. Historically, our friend in the giant mega breweries with flawless equipment, super talented people, and unlimited budgets have dominated the category. So it was nice to see them make a showing. Arizona Breweries took home 2 bronze medals. First awarded to Goldwater for their Machine Gun Teddy, and the other Scottsdale Beer Company for its Cannonball Australian Style Pale Ale. So, I mean, those are all big breweries. I don't know that I would really like to see Wren House make a showing. I'm surprised. And again, like you said, not all of the breweries around us really are vocal about the fact that they're going or that they're entering. Well, I mean, I know they're participating. They're at least going, we know, but...
at least to the festival and serving their beer, right? But who knows actually if they're entering or not, or then, entering the competition. I mean, because, if you look at the list of who's who at the GABF, I mean, Arizona has a pretty decent showing on there right now. It's 1912, Craft Brewers Guild, BJ's, College Street, Grand Canyon, Huss, Rickety Cricket, which is up in Kingman there, Santan Brewing, State 48, Wren House, 14's Canyons is actually California, and that's it. So Wren House is the last from Arizona that will actually be participating at GABF this year. California is like 9 pages.
Of course.
And then Colorado is the next 9 pages. And then
California, eight of those pages are San Diego.
Yeah, it's insane. That's stupid, crazy there. But what are you going to do? You have Mecca like the beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Why not? But yeah, hopefully, so there's not a ton listed here. But like I said, hopefully a lot of people actually submitted their beers instead of actually doing both maybe. So we'll see. So Porch Drinking actually put out a little, it's a route.
Got me on that one.
It's a hard word to say. Route preview. So basically, have been GABF. This is the route you need to do. These are the beers you need to try. These are the big beers. We're all across the United States, and the people are going to be there. So, there's a giant list. I'm not going to read all this stuff, but going through it, some of the stuff on here, just some kind of stuff. Actually, Rumpkin, which is an acceptable version of a pumpkin beer. Imperial Bourbon Barrel Aged Pumpkin Ale.
That's an Avery, right?
Yes. 16.2%.
Hell yes.
I'm in that one. Bottle Logic will be there. Fundamental Observation and Number Crunch. Who else is on this guy? Man, Dogfish Head with Bourbon Barrel Aged Fruitful Fort. And that one, Epic. Who actually, kind of back to going earlier, Epic made a fucking really good pumpkin beer.
They did. I haven't seen it in years.
I haven't seen it in the last 2 years. I mean, in the last 2 years at least.
I can't even remember what it was called.
It was God damn it.
I'm gonna
look it up.
I'm gonna Google that shit.
Damn it. I know we talked about it forever ago. I would say that. So when you said
it's
you
like
need
some crazy like Russian name, isn't it? It's got like the.
Well, they had an original name for it, and I just remember that they changed it to something else, and then they stopped making it. So if anybody from Epic can listen to this, or somebody who knows from Epic can listen to this, make that beer again.
Bring that shit back.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was like, oh man, I remember. Look it up. I'm gonna keep going on this list. Firestone Walker. Let's see, what do they got going on? Coconut Parabola. Seems pretty awesome. Parabola's normally good. Fremont Brewing Bourbon Barrel Aged Dark Star Coffee Edition. That's great. Great Notion. They're double stack. J Wakefield BA Bout It. That's a pretty awesome name. Modern Times.
Fermentation without representation.
That's what it was. That was a fucking great beer.
Imperial Pumpkin Porter.
Yeah, that beer definitely gave Four Peaks a run for its money and then fucking blew it away.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in ages, and I loved it.
Obviously, Modern Times is also bringing a beer called Fellowship of Zool. Love that. It's a great name for a beer. Who else in this thing? New Glarus, which is 25th anniversary ale. New Hollands with Dragon's Milk, which, man, this is every variant. 8 of them. They have 8 variants of Dragon Milk, which is insane. I've had like 2, I think, which was the normal and then the bourbon barrel aged one. I want to try the fucking mint Dragon's Milk. But
are they trying to take on 3 Floyds? Are they going after 3 Floyds and their crazy freaking lottery only?
Well, that being said, I think not this weekend, but next weekend is going to be the Darkness Festival at Surly in Minnesota. And they have 3 different variations of the Surly Darkness beer, which sounds awesome.
That's crazy.
Every time I see that, I'm always really jealous that we can't get into Surly here.
I wonder literally how many variants of Dark Lord there are out there. Because there's a bunch, and those people go nuts for those things.
Speaking of Surly, they're on this list. Barrel Aged Darkness. Weird. 12%. They're actually going to have... what's this say?
Apparently, Epic still does their pumpkin porter, but now it's just called Imperial Pumpkin Porter, and it's part of their Exponential series.
So they still make it, but I haven't seen it here.
I'm gonna start frequenting Whole Foods, because Whole Foods is usually like the biggest purveyor of epic beers around us.
Yeah, them are like Bedmo
or maybe we could hit the GCM guys up and say, hey, WTF?
Hey Kyle or GCM, if you're listening to this, get some of that damn beer in. That was the best pumpkin beer ever.
Get the jacked.
It will change people. Get those 2 beers and it'll change people's minds about pumpkin beer and how much they fucking suck.
For sure.
So don't buy that shipyard fucking pumpkin fucking bullshit. Don't buy some other just normal pumpkin ale craziness. Buy those beers.
Yeah, do it.
There you go.
Do it.
But yeah, no, I mean, so this is kind of a list of just all the big beers you should hit, right? And look at this list. It's like 11, 16, 14. There's some really I mean, you would probably get through 3 or 4 of these beers and be smashed at GABF.
Oh, yeah.
So my thought was, if you were going to GABF this year, what would your ideal route be? Like, what would you do? Like, would you start with just like hitting some, here's all the heavy hitters like they showed, go hit those first and get the ones you want off that list? Or would you like go find some like really like rare obscure people? Or I mean, what would what would that be? What would it look like?
I honestly don't know. If I went to GABF and I didn't do my research like I haven't right now,
right?
I would definitely probably look for Bottle Logic first. Bottle Logic is still probably one of my favorite breweries on the planet.
Maybe just going off names then, right? Going off people you know or you've actually seen and you want some of their beer but you've never tried it kind of thing.
Yeah, and I would definitely probably try to focus on the beers that we can't get. And I mean, I know we get some Surly here, but I would still seek out Surly because I'm sure they got a bunch of stuff we can't get here. Yeah. I would look for, like the Tree Houses. I would look for the Jester Kings.
Right.
I would look for, all of the big breweries like, what's the one in Florida? J. Wakefield.
Oh yeah, Wakefield would be awesome.
I would be looking for that. Just a lot of the stuff, I would probably spend more time Googling breweries that are there to find out where I'm going than I would drinking. But there's so many things. Like, I don't know if Omnipolo is going to show up. We talked in one of the 2 episodes ago that Omnipolo is kind of like one of my bucket list breweries.
For the most part, I believe it's only, because the Great American Beer Festival, I think it's only U.S. cities.
And that's why I said I would at least look them up because I would have my doubts that a Swedish brewery would be at the GABF.
Right.
But I would still look because if I went there and I assumed they weren't there and I found out that they were and I left, I would be super pissed.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, anyone listening to this show, you could probably rattle off 5-10 different names of stuff that we can't get here in Phoenix. And that would be all the stuff that I would really, really be super hyper focused on getting and trying out.
That's the thing is that it's, like I said, without doing research or finding whatever, it would be yeah, what are the biggest breweries that I know I can't get here that I want to try, and that'd be the first place I go.
Right.
Because I mean, that'd be the thing about GABF that I think would be the hardest thing would be that. What do you try first? Right. Like when you go like Strong Beer Fest, there's like maybe like one or two things you're like, I'm going here and I'm going here. Like this is like the game plan, right?
Right.
But going to GABF, I mean, this list is insane. And there's I mean, I didn't even want to count this. I'm not going to actually guess how many fucking brewers in this list, but there's no way that you can sit here and be like, oh, this brewery's better than this brewery. There's so fucking many of them that it's insane to even. I mean, that's crazy. So. It would be hard to basically say, hey, I'm going to go to this one first. It would literally be, okay, which one on this giant list of ones I've heard of that I want to go to, that I want to try, is closest to me when I get in, right?
I would have to research symptoms of alcohol poisoning because
That'd be bad.
I would be out of control there. And again, I would be looking for the Pures, the Great Notions, the Crooked Staves, the Wicked Jester, Jay Wakefield.
Well, so that's the thing
many
too.
different breweries.
So do you, like I said, do you go the IPA route and go find all the IPAs you can't get? Do you go the big stout and barrel aged crazy 60% decadent stuff? I mean, the thing is, like,
I think I would focus on IPAs and sours.
Yeah, IPAs and sours at this point.
And again, I mean, I haven't really met a style that I don't like or don't gravitate towards, but IPAs and sours always intrigue me just because, especially like the milkshake IPAs, those are my jam, and I love to see the stuff that everyone's doing with those, especially like the Tired Hands. You know, Tired Hands is doing amazing stuff with milkshake IPAs, so I think it'd be really cool to go and check out and see what they're doing, see what they're entering, kind of see what they're placing their bets on.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, there's so many different ways to approach this. I mean, like I said, you could go by style of beer, you could go by, like brewers you know that you want to get to that we can't get here. You could go by just name alone, right? Like you just be like, go through this list and be like, Little Machine, Denver, Colorado. I've never heard of them. Let's go try them out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you just go the most obscure things possible, right? Like that'd be fun almost too.
I would Google and find out that Rowley isn't pouring, and then find John Rowley and give him a back rub.
Which I think I said this earlier to you. I saw that I think he's judging this year at GABF. I think I really double check this, but I think what I saw on the Instagrams was said it is basically said something about judges panel something or other, and I was like, what? So. Yeah, it was basically a picture of a slide, and it was his caption is GABF 2018 judging orientation is on.
Nice.
So yeah, that is awesome that John is there and gonna participate in that. Which I think it's a blessing and a curse almost, because the thing is like it's judging.
I can't think of a better judge.
Right, but I mean, judging in general is gonna be tough because it's almost like you're not gonna enjoy it. It's like when people talk about like. If you're, this completely ruined it for me for watching like movies or like TV shows. When people are eating food in movies, so somebody's eating like a hamburger or something,
right?
It's like, well, they didn't take one take of that. That dude ate that hamburger like 14 or 15 times. He ate like one bite of a hamburger, and by the time they get to the 15th one, it's super cold. Like it's not a good hamburger. Nobody really enjoys it. It's like that sucks. So I mean, I feel like judging a beer competition where hundreds of breweries enter beers into it after and hopefully they divide it up into like so many, like you'll try these 50.
I can't imagine how daunting, and I would love to talk to John.
Oh, after this, dude,
just like this to find out. It's like, because there's no way the judges try everything that's there.
Well, so
they have to break it up into like, you're judging sours, you're judging stouts, you're judging IPAs.
Oh yeah.
So I would be really, really surprised if Rowley is judging anything other than sour / farmhouse / wild ales.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is like, so like, in a smaller category like sours or farmhouse ales, if there's not like hundreds of entries, what about the categories that are like IPAs, right? Like, there's hundreds of IPAs entered, or there's a huge category. How the fuck do you actually judge that? Like, how do you go through and be like, there's no way you're gonna drink all of them, so you have to like split these judges up and have them judge this portion of it, and split. You do these first 50. This is 51 through 75, and then you do, whatever. It's just like that's crazy. And after a while, there's got to be palate fatigue. I mean, if I'm 51 and I'm different, and then you're 2. Those are 2 different beers, right?
And that's just it. I just, for the life of me, I mean, it's. I hate to dog cicerones, but it's no secret how we feel about kind of arrogant cicerones on this show. Yeah. But even I don't care how seasoned your palate is. I don't care how high in the cicerone level you get. There's a threshold, and there's only so many beer you can taste before your taste severely trails off. And
right.
I mean, then you start judging when you're like, smashed or drunk. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and imply that I know how judging goes down, but I'm guessing that these guys aren't, spitting the stuff out in spittoons like, right. You see a lot of like these pretentious wine tastings go.
Yeah.
So they have to break it down into categories, because no judge is going to sit there and sample.
Well, here's the thing is, okay, so this slide says 298 judges from 12 countries.
There you go.
There's 8,650 beers from 2,400 breweries in 102 categories, 100 pro-am entries, and 49 collaboration entries.
Sample all those and tell us what you think.
There's 298 judges. I'm not great at math, but 298 divided by 8,650 divided by 298 is still a lot of goddamn beer. That's insane. So, like I said, kudos for John for doing this, and hats off to him, and it's pretty awesome that he's doing this. But it's, like I said, kind of almost a curse at the same time as it's a boon, I guess. I don't know if I'd ever want to be a judge in that kind of situation. Seems like a lot. 300 people.
Yeah,
somebody do that math real quick for me.
Yeah, I am going to leave this episode and go Google the breakdown of how judging happens at GABF.
I mean, it was 8,650 divided by, what did I say, 298 judges. That means every judge has to judge 29 beers.
That's still crazy.
That's a lot of beers.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of, I mean, even if it's a 1 ounce sample. Like, here's the deal. It's like, that's the thing is, too, is you have to have a big enough sample that you actually can taste the beer.
Right.
But you don't want to drink all that beer, because then you can't get the 29 of the beers, because I can't get through 29 fucking 1 ounce, 2 ounce samples of fucking Strong Beer Fest. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, love to hear more about actually beer judging and how it works out. Maybe if anybody knows somebody to have reach out to us and talk to us, we'd love to talk to them and pick their brain. Like I said,
I'm going to do some research, but we'll have to like set up a Skype or hit John up when he's down in Tucson, go down there and meet him and say, hey, freaking hit us up with a day in the life of a GABF judge.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting to hear. So, well, at this point, let's wrap up the show, Jeff. People, if you want to, if you made it to this point, thank you for listening. If you want to support us, well, if you want to find information about us and what we are and what we do, you can basically go to our website, which is hoppycraftsmen.beer, which I still love. Every time I say .beer, is one of the best things ever in the world. We're on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook at basically at Hoppy Craftsmen on all those kind of social media sites. So, and then pretty much every single one of the podcast apps you want to do, Google Play, Apple Music, Stitcher, all those kind of stuff. So we're on all of them. So go find us. We're actually on Spotify as well. So, and then I think we were talking earlier about maybe dabbling more in some of the video stuff. So maybe we'll actually be doing some videos of this.
I've invested a very large chunk of change, and I'm amongst other things, I am a budding photographer. So sank a lot of money into a pretty serious DSLR that does 4K video. So nice. You guys may or may not be seeing us
our lovely faces,
our ugly, hairy, nasty beer drinking faces on YouTube, if you can handle that.
Perfect. So yeah, if you guys didn't know, we actually have a YouTube channel as well. Most of the time it's just kind of a still image with the audio going through, so that we feel that actually can't get to iTunes and stuff at work, can actually still listen at YouTube and hear our shows. So
yep.
But hopefully we'll have some more live video for you guys, and you can check that out. So That being said, Jeff, who are the reddest fucking people in the world?
Raddest fucking people in the world are Jessica Langley, Mark Ballesteros, Rob Fulmer of the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild, Sina Gomez, and the Indie Beer Show. These are our Patreon supporters. These are people who donate $3 or more a month and help us bring this show to you. Believe it or not, podcasts are kind of expensive, so every little bit you guys submit to us helps. If you can't submit, go to iTunes. If you can, leave us a review if you like the show. If you don't like the show, leave a bad review. Let us know why. We would love to improve. We love doing this for you guys. We love that we have Patreon supporters to help us with the financial burden of hosting and equipment and all that other stuff. So if you can, head out to www.patreon.com/Hoppy Craftsmen and give what you can. We give little secret episodes, stickers, some swag, special little things here and there to our elite Patreon supporters. So, like I said, go check us out. If you want to donate. If you don't, at least go check it out. And thank you for at least your consideration.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, great show, Jeff. Thanks for hanging out and drinking some beers with me. On this.
Yeah, it's a rough life.
It's very tough, man. Thanks for listening, guys. I'm Chris.
I'm Jeff.
And drink local, guys.
Thanks.
We'll catch you